Good evening, everyone. Welcome here. We are at the Nordschleife. We are in Germany, and we are here for the 11th week of the CaseKing.de Pro Series. Welcome along. I am Cristiano Romano, and for tonight we are going in the longest track of them all, the Green Hell, even called. But it's a very important track. This one here, the Nordschleife, which takes place in Nürburgring, in the city of the village of Nürburgring, rather, in the region of I think it is in, if I'm not correct, it's like in south west. I can't remember the exact name of the region, but this track is it doesn't really need any preview. It's famous for all the reasons in the world, especially because this weekend I don't think it's casually this week that we have the Nordschleife. This weekend is a 24-hour Nordschleife, and obviously this is Madness June, as we have the 72 hours of endurance. But for tonight, this is going to be just a sprint race, as always, a sprint race of. Not always, considering that 2 rounds are different from the usual, but for tonight, this is the usual hour of racing in the Nordschleife. Next week is going to be the double round with 20 minutes and then 40 minutes race towards for the final race. And the next week is going to be the last week of the championship. For tonight, though, I just have to give you the current standings in championship. Maybe if they come here, here they are. Elefante, Caracas and Sullivan currently packed in a very narrow sheet of paper, and then Semigaskel follows about 400 points behind. Then Gadowski and Minar with now 9,000 points are following very, very far away. So at the moment it is a battle among 3 drivers, maybe 4 by some chance from just behind from Semigaskel. And just need to give myself the opportunity to talk about the consideration in the championship, because Eric Delfante is currently leading by, I think it is 42 points, and then Caracas is ahead of O'Sullivan by slightly less than 100 points. There are drop rounds, and so everything still is on the line, but theoretically we could see a very, very nice battle at the very last race next week in Spa-Francorchamps. Now, thinking about what happened last time around, these are the results from last race in Suzuka. Semigaskel won the race and brought home 1,400 points. Caracas behind and Delfante following in 3rd, with Minar and Wagner completing your top 5. So the situation is very much on the line for all the drivers. They are all battling and fighting for a chance to get effectively the win of the championship, win that brings you these prizes, because whoever is in 1st at the end of the championship will go home with a CVQ Pedals bundle with Active Pedal Pro. For the 2nd place, the driver is going to be an FGT Pro Formula and the GT Racing Simulator cockpit, and for the 3rd place driver, he will get a Moza CRP2 with M Booster set of pedals. So thanks to our partners from CVQ, from FGT, from Moza, and obviously from CaseKing.de, that brings us this championship. But now we are. I think the qualifying will start eventually in some time. It's a very long track, so it could be whichever moment in between now and in 4 years' time, because people have to complete their final laps in the qualifying. So back to the current standings. As I said, it's very narrow between Delfante, Caracas and Sullivan, especially. Even because the points distribution, they have to pick it up from here. Where was it? I cannot remember. way easier to get it through here. Okay. So whoever is in first gets 1400 points, and second place, for example, last time in Suzuka, Ganas Karagas managed to gain 1360 points, and then just a little bit more than 1300 for whoever is in third. Then second place gets home with just a bit less than 1300 points, to be exact, 1296 points for whoever is in fourth. Then fifth gets 1268 points. So it's going to be quite an interesting situation, the one that happens here in Nürburgring. If you're wondering why we're still not in qualifying, it's because there are a couple of drivers that still have to complete their lap, but I'm waiting to tell you the condition at the moment in the track. Now let's talk about the Nordschleife. Maybe I have some time. No, I don't have some time, because I thought I had, but I don't have some time. So let me just get here, get to drive, get my air control and OBS, and everything is ready for the broadcasting. So here we are in live. So as you can see, it's raining. It's raining in... Okay, now it's correct. It's raining in the Nordschleife, full rain, and we are at night time. 11 o'clock at the moment on the track. 12 degrees only as the Albate comes to a bit of a trouble going into the gravel. But it's going to be a lengthy qualifying round, 15 minutes, considering the joker lap that gets taken at the very first lap. This is going to be 2 laps shootout, effectively, with the first lap being hopefully the good one, but very, very, very probably, we'll say surely, the first lap will be the slower one, because there is a lot of standing water. And so they will have to wait for the second lap when the track is slightly less wet. I won't say less wet, but at least it has less standing water on the surface to get a better lap time. If you're new to LFM, welcome. The numbers on the tower on the left represent the strength of the drivers compared to the field. So whoever has the number 1 is the strongest. Whoever has the number 32 this time. Whoever has number 32 is whoever is theoretically slower, but practically who knows. And also the tower will rotate between all the data that you need. So for example, in qualifying you have the delta from the best time in the session, and you have manufacturer and the nationality that will rotate automatically. Again, if you have any question, just write them in chat, because I should be able to answer those questions. But now Philippines are going over the German slippery surface. This camera is not really great because you can't really see. No, not this one, not this one. Okay, apparently I can't go with the Mustang, unfortunately, because the cameras are always slightly glitched, as there is a lot of traffic here. The same Gatker is stuck behind a couple of cars. And it's quite an issue, because as you can see from the minimap, there are a lot of stuck drivers, and Minar is about to arrive at the finish line, at the start finish line rather. And Buffy just behind. I want to see. Okay, Gasca is now on the road, but I need someone from the splitter cam, because as you can see from here, there is still a good amount of standing water. There is a line that is about to form, but it's still not there yet. Maybe from the helicam it's even easier to not see anything, because as you can see there isn't a drier patch yet. So very likely another strategy could be the one that they keep on going on the GP surface until the drier patch exists. So not now. Looking at the minimap though, there are a couple of drivers that went on to start the lap, and one of them is number 5 of Philipp Minar, who chose to go for a first lap on the Nordschleife, and then a second one, possibly just after 8 minutes, 3 minutes plus 2 minutes. I mean, there is a chance that Miller can get his lap done, go into the pits, come out again, go for the GP, line, so basically going for the jockey lap, and then start another lap. That's very, very close to the time, because whoever starts now the lap will not make this no, not even. We are already late, 15 seconds ago. So some drivers cannot even go for this tactic. Maybe no, everyone just starts the lap. So maybe everyone can go for the tactic of going for a single lap around the Nordschleife, go back into the pits, go for the GP strike, and then go for the Nordschleife in all its integrity. Little review about the track. Well, as I said, it doesn't need really any presentation, but you don't really see anything because it's complete darkness, and the only lights around the track are the fun tracks. As you can see, all the lights from the tents and the public that effectively mimics the exact situation that exists in the Nordschleife. You have this beautiful sight of lights and barbecues and people around the track having fun with music and a lot of... Oh, there is a yellow flag and a lot of barbecues. I was about to say, but I cannot see who crashed, unfortunately, because whoever did it is already into the pit. Maybe I can go for a replay from here. So there was a yellow flag just shortly ago. Maybe this one is the incident. Since it's a very long track, the replays are going to be... Oh, that was Matteo Naldi! Oh, that was Matteo Naldi that actually just went into the pits. Not sure the reason for it. They just chose to abort the lap. And the number 11 seemed to have had another issue. That was Samir Foch. Maybe we can hear something inside the car. Oh, that's a lot of barrier taken for the Mustang. Yeah, that's the reason for the yellow flag. That's a very obvious reason. I think I have to mention the fact that the car is... the lap is not valid anymore. I think that's pretty obvious. Oh, Buescher! Buescher spinning! Christian Buescher in the number 24. So a lot of drivers having struggles. Whatever bit intensifies, this qualifying session will be filled with yellow flags very likely. As he goes over the... Oh, the bridge! Please brake, please brake! Ooh, he goes for a spin! It doesn't collide with anything. That was very, very lucky. That was very, very lucky for Christian Buescher. And there was another yellow flag from number 14. This one here. So this is what happened to Michael Frey in the Ferrari. Be best to go for the onboard camera. Oh, he's going wide into the grass and into the wall. Yep, that's the lap done for Michael Frey, spinning then in the middle of the circuit. And again, number 19 this time around. In the Mustang, even for them. Near Kassav for Master Race Car, going over the grass, then pretty ruining the car into the barrier. I think it was... I can't really see where it was. So we got the full Nordschleife map. I think that was into Kesselken, the 10th kilometer. Oh, that's Miller into the grass and narrowly avoids a track limit. So that was extremely close to... Oh, he's glitching around. Okay. It was very close to make it into the barrier for Minar. I think it was just inside the line. Asian Busher, car number 23, is now back on the racetrack. There was a yellow flag. So, for the first lap, there were a lot of drivers having struggles around the track. And that's... Oh, even 16 into the pits. So another car getting towed back into the garage. And this is what happened to the Ferrari of Stephen Dufresne. That didn't brake in time over the grass. Oh, that's then contact. Where is he? Into the pits. And that was, I think that was into... Trying to understand where it was. It was into the technical zone, so maybe it was at Brooken at the 14th kilometer. That was, yeah, that was Brunken. Yeah, that was Brunken. So the technical zone, the one that I hate with my soul. That's a very tricky section that you have to really puzzle together to get a very good sector. Thomas Reader goes quicker than Minar for CMRC Enduros by Barminia, and they both go for a second lap. As Lawrence Van Rossem goes fourth, and Shea O'Sullivan is now leading the pack, and he goes for the strategy of pitting and quickly go into the track once more. Now Buffy over the finish line with a 9 minute 0.0, but he was off track, so this was not a valid lap time. Eric Elefante goes for second place and into the pits even for him. Number 21 over the finish line, that's Emir Albate. That completes the lap. And scores a 7th. No, it doesn't score any lap actually. It means without a valid lap time. So only 6 drivers have completed a lap out of the 32 drivers. The car number 24 goes over the line to put the car in 7th. That's Christian Buescher. Chris Buescher is in NASCAR. So, I mean, RFK at the Nürburgring when? Jan Zakarikas goes over the finish line. 4th place, 858.4 for Caracas, that's the number 9. Goes over the line to put the car just behind in 5th place, Yannick Rambach for JS with a 859.3. Number 31 over the finish line, that's Tobias Lundberg for Callis Racing Team. And he goes over the line to put the car only in 8th place, but at the very least he's in the leaderboard. Opposite to about 2/3 of the grid so far. As another car spins in the background, that's the car number 13. As Claudio Daza goes over the line from 18th to 11th. Last, but at least he's on the grid. The number 13 had an incident, and this was the incident for Pavel Gadowski. The car number 13. Oh, that's... Oh, the last turf. Yep, there is no grip there. And then into the barrier. That was into Kohat at the 13th kilometer. Now I know it's possibly useless considering that you may not have a map underneath, but for whoever has it, I'm trying to be as useful as possible in that regard. As the 15, oh, the 15 is not really in the correct place. That was the CMRC Endurance by Barminia, number 15. And this is what happened to... Oh, there are a lot of yellow flags, actually. So first, this is what happened to Thomas Reader. He goes over the crest. Yeah, that's way too quick. Over the crest, then into the grass, then into the barrier. Luckily with nobody else coming around, but it was at Flugplatz. Which then went into the pits. And I think there was another yellow flag. This time for number 1. This is what happened to the number 1. This was George Boothby. Oh no, apologies, that's just a car getting ready to start the lap. Unfortunately, I saw a 1 and I was already scared. But this was a big one. I see it isn't. As Caritas starts the lap, trying to find any... Oh, there was some contact for Backminer in car number 28. Was there a yellow flag for the 28? So yeah, there was an accident between the 28 and the 20. And this is what happened. Just... oh, the car doesn't have any light on. So that's not great. Oh, that's unfortunate. There is a car in the middle of the way. There is a Ferrari that was spinning there. And Backminer unfortunately collided with the number 20. And this lap is not a valid one. So at the moment, only 12 drivers managed to set a lap. As Philip Minar is improving by 4 seconds. And there is a huge chunk of people, actually 2/3 of the grid, that hasn't even set a lap time yet. But they still have to complete their qualifying. Obviously, it's very tricky at the moment because a lot of drivers are stated as finishers. But that's because unfortunately ACC doesn't really recognize the fact that you take a joker lap to start your lap at Nordschleife. So few cars still have to come to... Yeah, unfortunately though, Sasha Fassner and Ian Russell will not improve because they are into the pits. The number 10 and the number 8. I don't see anything, so not sure why they are already into the pits. And Shea O'Sullivan in the number 6 is into the pits. So even for him, this is qualifying over. Nelly Velfante is at the moment just starting the lap. So number 7 will be the first of the cars that will come to the finish line to set the lap. That's currently Axel Raune for Applied Esports team, currently in 21st, but still about to complete the lap. Now going into Tiergarten and then into the finish line. The final part of the circuit. Just a tiny bit less rain that is dropping from the sky, but that's 9:56, but this was not a valid lap time for Raone apparently, so he went off track somewhere, and he will start at least 21st, and the number 12 comes around the lap after 20 more kilometers to put the car in third. That's Matteo Naldi for the other Applied Esports team. Third place for the number 12, as a duo of cars, the number 29 of Dennis Feldman in the M4, and just behind, as Feldman goes in 12th place, the number 11 goes on to put the car in 10th. That's Amir Foch for LFM content creator. The number 23, Ian Busher for Eurobeat Intensifies, that is currently at Svalgenbanz. I probably did butcher the name of that. Svalbenschwanz. Okay, maybe. I know that majority of the viewers are from Germany. Please don't threaten me. I know I'm butchering the names. I'm perfectly aware of that. As it goes over the Zotinkeho, the main straight that goes on for 2 and actually nearly 3 kilometers. with speeds up to 280 km per hour, because many teams are probably going for, well, not here, it's raining, so possibly this is the first time that we are going to see some very high downforce setups. But usually you go for a very low downforce setup at the Nordschleife, because there isn't really any other spot to make an overtake except the Totikeko. And so you really go for a very low downforce setup, because you really want to make the overtake count whenever it is possible. Because you can't really make overtakes on the turns. As Buscher goes for 11th. Number 23, currently 11th. And Philip Minar currently improving by 7 seconds. Last time around it was a 9:01. This will be at 8:54. So 4th place, but maybe even more as he goes over the line. And that's 4th place. 8:54.4 for Philip Minar. The number 5 will start just ahead of Ian Ruschel. As Nir Kasav goes over the line, and that's 18th. Last of the timing. As Kevin Bellick will not complete the lap as he goes into the pits, and Ulrich van der Meer in the Honda. As it stands, only 18 cars managed to even set a lap time. Van der Meer goes over the line to put the car in 15th. So number 16. Steven Dufresne. The moment, this is a valid lap time as he goes just over the curb on the outside. Then into the dosing who. Amount of cars that are still on track is quite a good one actually, because I can see the 16, the 17, the 24, and another 6 to 8 cars. I can't really see because many of them are bunched up, especially as you can see from the minimap at the carousel. No, just after the carousel. That's Hoeacht and Wipperman at the 13th kilometer. As Stephen Dufresne is basically driving on eggs, as he's at least trying to get some grip on the car. But 16 goes over the line to put the car in 13th place, 905.967, just behind Lungeberg. And then we have to wait a lot of time because Christian Buscher just in front of another car as they go over the jump on Fans Garden. I can't see the car behind. Oh, that's the wall actually for Miguel Silva. So that's not going to be a valid lap time for the 27. Into the barrier he goes. That's a massive one. Yeah, you can see car coming to not a half, but narrowly there. As this is what happened from the onboard camera. We are just behind Christian Buscher as he goes over the jump. As he loses the car massively there, over the curve way too much, and then into the barrier. That's the lap done for Miguel Silva, who will start from 29th on the grid. Christian Buscher still into the racetrack. That was very close. I don't know if it was enough to mark a red over Buscher's lap time, but it was extremely on the limit, as George Boothby still has to even complete a single lap time, even for him, very much on the limit, but he's there as the... Oh, there is a car off. That's a car... I couldn't see the number in time. I think it was number 13 off. So Pavel Gadowski made another mistake and he will not complete the lap time. In fact, he's into the pits and the number 13 will start 27th. So now the 24 for Eurobeat Intensifies over the line. And that's Christian Buscher in 16th place. Just enough to put the car somewhere. As Caracas, and I think the car in front, I don't see the number of that. That's Boothby in 12th and Caracas in 7th. place, with the number 14 completing the lap. That's Michael Frey in 10th place, in the number 14 for Mertel Motorsport. So this was the grid. A very difficult grid, at least, because 16 teams, so 16 drivers only managed to put at least one valid lap time out of 32 drivers. Out of 32 drivers, incredible stuff. As we'll go for our... Oh wait, let me just do this, then we go into... Okay. So into the grid we go. First with... Oh wait, let me just update. Okay, no, it's correct. Shea O'Sullivan will start the race in pole position with an 8.52. Eddie Del Fante will then start in second place for the Italian job, 8.53 flat for the Italian driver. Number 12 behind, that's Hoplite Esports team, and the number 12 Ferrari, and Philip Minar will start in fourth place in number 5 255 competition by Go Setups. Ian Rochelle, number 8, will start in 5th place in the DXT Motorsport Aston Martin. That's a very nice livery, I'll be honest on that. Sasha Wasner will then start in 6th place in the car number 10 for LFM Esports, with an 856.7. Grantas Karekas, 7th place for the Visceral Esport driver, and Yannick Rambach in the number 9 Ferrari will start in 8th place in front of Thomas Rieder, CMRC Endurance by Barminia, number 15. Michael Frey will start in 10th place in number 14 Mertel Motorsport Racing, and behind Samir Foch in the number 11 in the Ford Mustang. A lot of Ford Mustangs here. I don't know if I will make all the names in time, because it's a short formation lap. Ian Buescher will start in 12th place, and George Buffy only 13th. So he will have to grind his way up the grid to get points, to get huge points rather. Tobias Lungenberg for Khalid Racing Team in the car number 31 in 14th place. So good one for Isilo if he can compete with them all. Stephen Dufresne, the German for Reptile Racing, will start in 15th. Lawrence Van Rossem in 16th place for Unicorn Racing, and Dennis Feldman 17th place for Bast Racing Team Esports. And I think Christian Buescher is the last that managed to even set a lap time with a 908.5 in 18th place. Then in 19th, Ulk van der Meer. Oh, actually, even he managed to make a lap time. And in 20th place, Claudio Zazza with a 911.9 for Sky Motorsport Simsport. And Marcel No will start in 21st with a 913.5. Nyarkasav with a 914 for Master Race Car in the Mustang number 19, as Emir Al-Bateh is the first one of the cars that didn't set a lap time. So 22 drivers only managed to set a valid lap time. Sam Gaskell will start, this is a big one, will start in 24th with Axel Ramune, another big one, in 25th place for Hoplite Esports team. Patrick Bachmeier in 26th place for Oma Racing Motorsport. Mika Patush in 27th for the other Mercedes Motorsport Racing with Ferrari. And Pavel Gadonski will start in 28th place for Pstuk Esports. Now, unfortunately, we cannot make all the names in time, as they are already getting ready to start the race. But Kevin Belik, Miguel Siverio, Tobias Hogue and Alexander Kirk will then complete the other 5 spots on the grid. Actually, maybe... Okay, yeah, I could have made it on time. I'll be honest, I thought I had way less time. But this is your 32 drivers grid. As O'Sullivan will keep the lead for the very start of the 60 minutes here at the Nordschleife with a flooded racetrack, and I think mayhem will start as soon as the green light appears in front of them. And here we are for the 11th week for the KXteam.de Pro Series. Green light, and away we go with a nice start there by Eric Del Fante. He then starts to actually gain even more in second gear, and he takes the flag. He takes the not the flag, not yet. At least he takes the first place for 20 minutes, and then he loses the position on O'Sullivan, who then regains back the place. Matteo Naldi in third, Philip Minar in fourth, fifth place. Side by side with Rochelle for Wasner, as they are still side by side into turn 4 with Aston Martin that actually, I think, surrenders the position briefly. So that was Wasner actually losing the rear and losing the position on Rochelle, who is now in 5th place. Caracas behind will then try and overtake on... Oh, there is a cut-off. Oh, there are a lot of cut-off. Can hear Kevin Bellick and Christian Buescher made contact as George Boothby takes the position on Samir Foch. That's for 12th place for the number 1. And next target for Boothby is a second away in 11th place. That's Ian Buescher. To go back into the lead, because there was contact between O'Sullivan and Del Fante somewhere. And then Phil Minar makes the place on the inside of Matteo Naldi into the left-hander. The number 5 is now in 3rd place. So Philip Mina now in 3rd, Matteo Naldi just behind in 4th. The 255 competition now follows the current leader in the championship, the Italian Job. As they now approach the Nordschleife. Booby did manage to make the position on Ian Buescher, then sliding into the chicane. And Stephen Dufresne also made the position in front of Ulke van der Meer. With Al Bate that loses a couple of spots, as Sam Gaskell gaining the position on the Ferrari, and then into the BMW he goes, but inside a very narrow place, that one there, the effectively first turn of the Nordschleife section, but he managed to get at least 18th. But remember that he is in contention of the championship. Well, maybe he was, considering that he is currently in 18th. I don't really think that he can gain so many places in 1 hour, especially there at the Nordschleife. Meanwhile, Minar and Naldi side by side in an impossible section, and that was into Hockenheim. They now approach Flugplatz, and Naldi just has to get defensive against Ian Russell behind in 5th. Remember, the number 8, Sim Gaskell makes another position. Sim goes for... Oh, that's actually a cut off. That's Buescher off. That's the 23 off. It lost 3 places. Maybe more. Benaldi remains in his own position. And Gaskell managed to gain a lot of them, because also because of Buescher making, I think, an off-track or contact of some kind. We can see what happened in this replay. As he approaches the Flugplatz. I think he just went wide. Oh, he just went a lot wide into the barrier. Somehow managed to not to spin, but he then lost 2, then 3 positions, and then a 4th one with Sam Gaskell. At the moment, also Stephen Dufresne managed to overtake Ian Buescher. So it is going to be a very lengthy race for the car currently in 16th place. Sullivan still maintaining the lead in front of Eric Elefante. The car number 20, that's Alexander Crook spinning and then regaining the pace. I think that was into the downhill section. No, that's in Mesfeld. Zaza. And oh, Albate lost 2 places there from Zaza and Beckmeyer. This is... Oh, he just lost the car, somehow made it in one piece. No, never mind, he still collided heavily with the wall. He lost 2 places on Beckmeyer and Zada. Somehow didn't spin. Not sure how. And there is still a car without lights. That's Petek Beckmeyer, who still is without lights. So he will have to put them on in 2 laps time. Meanwhile, there is some contact between Gadowski and Albate. With Gadowski managing to take the position on the Ferrari driver in 23rd place at the moment. Sasha Wasner, just behind Ian Ruchel, who was once trying to attack Matteo Naldi in 4th place. Now he is defending his 5th place from Sasha Wasner. As Sam Gaskel managed to make another overtake, this time on Longeberg. So 13th place already. But he needs a lot of points in front of Delfante and Caracas and Bufby. So at the moment he's not really having a good time. But still a long race to go. And it's still a Nordschleife, so many things can happen. There could be a mass crash in P1, as you can see. Gaskel overtakes Porsche after the carousel to then set himself 4 seconds behind Josh Bufby, currently struggling behind Thomas Rieder to make an overtake. So this whole pack of cars from O'Sullivan to Bufby, any of them can effectively win the race as it stands. But this is helping massively Sam Gaskel, who has free air and doesn't really have to follow anybody. Naldi extremely close to Minar now, into YouTube corner. Or Brunken. I think that was Brunken. Sam Gaskel already made up 12 positions since the start of the race. Yeah, because now we are into Fans Garden. Aldi looks ahead. Okay, this is a way better camera, the splitter one. Just ahead of him, as Minar is trying to create a gap of at least 7 tenths of a second to deny Naldi the opportunity to have the slipstream. As Beckmeyer and oh, there's a car into the wall. Oh, that's forced into the wall after a contact with Longeberg. So there were 2 incidents at the moment, but this one was between the 11 and the 31. So let's have a look at what happened. There was contact between Longeberg and Foch, who made contact with who? I think I know the answer. Oh, that was... Yeah, that was just very unfortunate for Longeberg, as there is a car with yellow flag showing that's Dufresne in the middle of the Dirty K.O. What happened there? For number 16. For Reptile Racing. We just went into the grass and spun the car. Then he threw... Well, not obviously on purpose, but then the car went into the wall. As Caracas, Wasner and Russell are battling for position here. Possibly a move on inside is likely here between Caracas and Vassen. No, actually, no. And in all of these, Gaskell managed to take the position in front of Booby. So it seems like Booby doesn't. Oh, wait, there is contact here between Caracas and Vasner, with Caracas taking the outside line and making the position on Vasner. That's car number 3 now in 5th place. Oh, there is another car off. That's Lawrence Van Rossem in the 17. He's not really having a good time. So what happened here? For Van Rossem, for Unicorn Racing in 23rd now. Oh, he just went into the brakes. Narrowly avoided the car in front and then spun. And then threw the car into the gravel. As Jan Rusha now battling with Sasha Vasner in the Mustang for DXT Motorsport. The Aston Martin is now in 7th, but could realistically be in 6th by the end of the lap. Michael Frey behind just made the overtake on Yannick Rambach, who also is about to lose the position. Oh, there's a contact between Thomas Rieder and Rambach, who tried to close the door way too late. Sideways for both drivers. Really, Rambach quite angry at the situation because they are in the wet, so you have to be extra careful. It was very close between the two. And Rambach for now remains in 9th. So let's see if there are any penalties already. And the answer is yes, there are. There is a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision for Ian Buescher and a drive-through for Axel Ramone. Drive-through for Axel Ramone for an incident at lap 1. So yeah, the car is now in 31st. And unfortunately, I cannot see the incident because I was focused on the action so far, and that replay was from the very early stages of the race. But there was a mass crash, and Axel Ramon apparently was the culprit of it. As now Thomas Rieder going over the inside. This is a very, very difficult move to make it. Even in dry lines, in the wet, he's trying to do it anyway into the outside. Can he make it through? No, he can't. He actually loses the position. He makes contact with Ford Mustang. That's Sam Gaskell making contact, or rather Rambach making contact with Gaskell, and that was Rambach actually. Okay, I'm a bit messing around because Rambach was the one that went into the gravel. It was Rieder making contact with Gaskell, getting into the hairpin, and now Josh Boothby also managed to gain a position on the Ferrari that was into the gravel. So Boothby is now in 11th place, Rieder is in 10th, and Gaskell managed to take 2 positions out of that. So Boothby quite in a difficult situation as it stands. Remember that at the moment, Delphante is leading, Caracas is just behind. And Gaskell sits in 4th. But O'Sullivan is currently leading, so this could be a good shuffle off the leaderboard. With O'Sullivan that is in 3rd, now leading this race in front of Delphante and Philip Minar. Skadowski made another position, this time on Ulrich van der Meer in the 13 Aston Martin. We can see the incident once more. The incident, apologies, the overtake. So you can see Gadowski just behind the Honda, who made a huge mistake there. And And that was the overtake done easily for Gadowski, who took the place in front of Van der Meer. Now 1.6 seconds behind. Just a reminder for myself, who has a penalty? It was Jan Buscher, who has a 10-second time penalty, and Buscher at the moment is in 24th place. Just a second in front of Silverio, so a 10 second at the moment could bring the car in 27th. So as you can see here, very close between Russell and Wasner. With Wasner that can't keep up with Caracas in front in 5th. And Wasner struggling a tiny bit in his Mustang. So now Ian Russell is very close by as number 14, that's near Cassav. Showing yellow flags. There is also a good battle in front because for third place Matteo Naldi is very close to Philip Minar. As the 255 competition by Ghost Up is struggling a tiny bit here in the technical zone. So we're currently in... Oh, that's a car off! That's Matteo Naldi into the grass. And there is another car off, that's Wasner into the grass. At Fast Garden. And I can see another white flag, so something happened there, but not sure. And Naldi now losing position on Caracas. There was a yellow flag also, and behind. So I think there was. I heard also some grass being picked up, so possibly some contact with the wall. But we'll see the replay afterwards. Because now Russell and Wasner are one after the other into the second carousel, and the Mustang goes off, nearly taking the Aston with them. Russell braked on time, and for now he still remains behind. And then into the grass. This is going to be extremely detrimental for Wasner. That's position lost, obviously, on Russell. And behind there was an incident between Gaskell and Frey. What is happening? So Gaskell and Frey slow on the Dottingham Ho. Two incidents happened so far as Wasner is still behind. Maybe he can take the position back. Or he actually goes for some bump draft. And a few positions behind, that's Ian Buscher making the position in front of Tobias Lungeberg and keeping it. But what happened to Matteo Naldi early on and now to Frey and Gaskell? We'll see with the replay. As first I want to see this action coming to an end as they go into the final two corners. These two are also still battling, Reader and Boothby, with Boothby just trying to attack Reader for 8th. He cannot make it, or rather he can make it, as the number 1 overtakes the Aston that outbraked itself. And that's Boothby on the outside of turn 2. Marvelous pass, and Boothby is now in 8th place. So what happened to Tonaldi in the car number 12 early on? So this is what happened to Naldi. He was... oh, there was a car off, yeah, that was Minar into the wall. So that's why there were white flags. But oh, there's also the number 12 into the wall. Heavily into the barriers. And then there was the incident between Michael Frey and Sam Gaskell, so number 2 and 14. So this will be the one. So you can see Gaskell and Frey, I think it was. as the Ferrari went into the barrier and took the Mustang with them, spinning then into the middle of the Dottige hole. The Mustang had somehow the better outcome because Frey was going face first into the barriers, so he somehow got saved by Gaskell, not on purpose, and probably not on his own accord, as Gaskell lost 2 places because of that. He's now in 10th place. The pit wheel is now opened. Last lap around for O'Sullivan was an 8:44.8, with Eric Delfante making an 8:44.7, 48.0 for Minar, 46.5 for Caracas, 50.2 for Naldi, and a 49.2 for Rochelle, with Wasner putting a 50.5, and then obviously with the times getting higher and higher, as Feldman, I think he lost the car somewhere, because now Vandemir and Patush are very slow behind him. Yes, the car number 29 created a yellow flag. Or was it because of the Honda behind? So Dennis Feldman here at the very initial stages of the Nordschleife. Oh, he just lost the car. Oh, into the barrier, heavily into the barrier. So yeah, that's going to be maybe even suspension damage. And it's not over yet, because there is another yellow flag. This time was for Foch in the car number 11. Into what is Flugplatz. Oh, he just went straight. Yeah, he's not going to turn in time. Heavily into the barrier. And car demolished. And then that's the DNF for Foch, who is not in the race anymore. Mika Patush behind Van der Meer and Feldman. So yeah, Foch into the pits, and possibly he will remain into the pits. Same goes for Axel Raune and Emir Albateh. I'm also looking at the top 10, because Sam Gaskell and Thomas Rieder are very close with one another. But for once I would like to be on the correct battle for position, because I'm sure that the second I switch camera, in fact it happens just now, with Mika Patush making a position in front of Van der Meer, going extremely slow into the double left corner. Into Metzfeld. Sam Gaskell very close to Thomas Rieder. You can go from the rear wing of the Aston Martin driver for CMRC Endurance by Barminia. Flashing the lights, that's Sam Gaskell kind of asking for a favor. I don't think that favor will happen, as Rieder is keeping the position for himself. Spray is into the wall. The car number 14, huh? So another car off. I would like to see what happened to Frey, but I just went to wait a tiny bit, because now they are into the carousel and the car is off. The carousel, losing the place on Gaskell, and that's Rieder now in 10th place. Now what happened to Frey in number 14, huh? So this happened. So this happened to Frey. On the very fast section here. Oh, braking on the... Oh, that's a huge chunk of car that was left into the barrier. I think there is a lot of rear end damage for Michael Frey that will be extremely difficult now. It will be extremely difficult now to keep the car stable, especially in these corners. Look at how slippery it seems to be. That's because there isn't rear downforce anymore, as both the rear wing and the diffuser has been hit from the contact early on. Up in front, Granadas Caracas and Philip Minar are just one after the other. Now can this be an overtake opportunity for Caracas to put car in third and another 7 seconds behind Del Fante, and also for the strategy in the pit? It's going to be interesting because they have only, by the time they arrive at the finish line, 12 minutes. So they either put this lap or the next one. There isn't another choice. You can't really choose. It's only that. They are now the Dottinger Who. This could be the overtake done for Caracas to get himself into third on the Viscerally Sport. For the Viscerally Sport Mustang. But Minar is keeping the ground. And he still remains in third place for 255 competition by Ghost Taps. Possibly to help whichever chance there still is for his teammate, Sam Gaskell. Now there was a penalty for the car number 16, a 5-second time penalty to Steven Dufresne for causing a collision with the car number 26. So few penalties so far, although a big one for Axel Ramone. So Michael Frey goes into the pits to repair a heavily damaged car, and Patush follows him as his teammate. Not sure if it is on strategy or for damage repair. No, I don't think the car is damaged actually, so I think it's just strategy for Patush. Possibly following his teammate. Maybe not knowing the teammate has, well, doesn't rather have a rear end anymore. And in 30 minutes, the rain stops. In 30 minutes the rain stops, but this is not going to be in time, as Gaskell and Bugby changed positions, with Gaskell back in 8th in front of his teammate, as Bugby is not really competing for the championship. Mostly because Bugby is in 14th at the moment, and Gaskell is the championship. Although very, very far away. Caracas is currently second in the championship, and so at the moment this could be one of the worst scenarios for the Fante, because he's leading the championship, but O'Sullivan, who is in third in the championship, is leading the race, and Caracas is nearly in third place behind him, and Caracas is also second in the championship. So everything is mixed up at the moment. I can understand some confusion that could appear here. Ah, yeah. So technically, in other streams, you can turn off the rain, and it helps because this is what you can see on the in camera. Not much. Not much. That's the reason many actually don't have rain on the stream. I have it on the stream, even if I drive. I mean, because I like realism, and I like the difficulty of having to twist yourself in the rain setting, even visually. But yeah, it's. I understand it's a bit against this. Oh, Caracas is into the grass. Was he into the wall? Was he into the wall? I couldn't see. I don't think it was into the wall. I think it was just outside the barriers. You know, the number 30 is not having a good time. Yeah, Tobias Hogg. So you're not having a good time here. And Michael Frey is still in the pizza. So I think that's another DNF for us. Remember, 32 drivers started the race. At the moment, only 25 are effectively still... oh, 26... no. Oh yeah, 26 are still racing effectively. All of this, Naldi is currently quietly gaining back the time on Caracas and Minar. Last time around it was a 44.5 for Naldi. Quicker than Minar, but slower than Caracas. But he's still in contention for a podium. And I would not really rule out Russell either. Aston Martin, currently in 6th place, is lapping into the 44. Now they will go into the pits. Oh, this is a huge one. Look at this. Look at the weather. Look at the weather up there. In 10 minutes, the rain stops. And if I remember correctly... oh wait, I read wrongfully the time early on. So this is becoming a dry race. Ooh. Yeah, because in 30 minutes it's... oh, Reader is off into the wall. And now into the middle of the racetrack. He has to decide quickly where to go, and he goes out of line as Fasner lost the place on Gaskell, making a position just in front, just before the carousel. Reader was off there. This is what happened to Reader. The car number 15. The Simmercy Endurance by Barminia. I think he lost the car the same way as Frey. Yeah, he did. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, that's a huge car. Yeah, that's a huge damage into the car. Yeah, that's possibly also the race over. Meanwhile, here, Wagner and Booby. If you don't see any wipers on, it's completely normal because many drivers here are using the bonnet camera to help themselves. So they don't put the wipers on, although you can put them automatically, so you can at least fake the fact that you are in the wet. But Fasner lost another place on Gaskell, and he lost now another second on him, with Boofby just behind. Caracas only 4 times behind Minar, as he gained back a lot of time from early on. So now the rain will stop, and will start again in about 25 minutes, I think. So just at the very tail end of the race, as I mentioned earlier. And I unfortunately haven't had a look at the weather report. I was a bit focused on what was happening on the... oh, that would be sideways. So I don't know exactly the weather, as Reader lost another position, this time on Longberg. Caracas here is about to make the place on the Philip Minar. To go from the helicam just underneath the Bilstein Bridge on the Doltigeho. That's Caracas now in third place, with Minar following, and Naldi only 2 seconds behind as O'Sullivan goes into the pits, and obviously everybody else, because they don't physically have the time to wait. So O'Sullivan, Delfante, Caracas, Minar, all the cars into the pits, braking as late as possible. Minar also gaining a chunk of meters from that. Rochelle into the pits, very close to the wall for Gaskell. Skadowski also gained the place on the Reader. So this will be a very, very busy pit lane. I wonder if some will go for a very, very difficult strategy. So going on the dry tires. Because it's possible. It's not the greatest idea in the world, but it's not the worst idea in the world. And it's going to be extremely difficult because now the cars will either be on dry tires because of the weather or on wet tires. So now the rain, as you can see, just starts to be less as Sullivan is on wet tires. I think it is on wet tires, yeah. It's going to be difficult to understand the tires because it's very dark, but you can understand the tires from the Pirelli. Oh, there is a car off! There was a BMW off already. Not sure which one it was. So I'm trying to see if some went for a huge gamble. Don't think anybody did it. So as I was saying, you can see if someone went on the dry tires. If you see a Pirelli mark on the tires, if you see a yellow mark, it means they are on dry tires. Don't think anyone is crazy enough to go on that strategy, although maybe someone is. I mean, I would have thought about it, but consider that it's nighttime and it's only 12 degrees. It's going to take some time to dry out anyway, even if it's not raining anymore. So as it stands, it's quite difficult and tricky. Meanwhile, Delfante lost the position on Caracas because Caracas didn't change tires. He just went in to put fuel in the car, which isn't really a bad strategy because he will have less grip in the wet. But he will theoretically have more in the dry because he has worn wet tires that become interslicks, kind of. And so they have less trouble in the dry. So this could be actually a very good strategy for Caracas, who didn't change tires. And the only other car that didn't change tire is Lawrence Van Rossum in 16 for the moment. And also Beckminer behind him. Everybody else chose to change tires. "20 minutes to go, and the dry weather could appear shortly. Although, as I said, it's going to take some time to have a very completely dry line. But the fun is now further behind both his opponents in the standings. Caracas is behind with only 42 points that have to be regained, and Sullivan is in third in the championship, but first in the race, only about 150 points behind Delfante. So this could be a shuffle of the entire standings. But remember, there is a drop round. There are 2 drop rounds, actually, so apologies. So now we have some chance. Let me go into the info slides. Okay. So it's 3 drop rounds. Apologies, 3 drop rounds, not 2. 3 drop rounds. And there is only one last round to go, which is double header at the GT at the Spa Francorchamps GT3, and something happened. Oh, Vassner is into the wall. Yeah, that car is done. That car is completely done for the day. The number 10 is going to have a DNF for tonight. So what happened here? To Vassner as it goes on the left-hand side. Oh, it's way too quick. Try to brake. Nothing to do there. Absolutely nothing that could be done other than not crashing. But now he's trying to get back into the pits. But even if he does so, well, he is obliged to go into the pits because he doesn't have front headlights anymore. And he is currently going to go into the pits and to stay stationary for, I think, at least 2 minutes. I really think it will be safer to just return to the garage at this point. Even to be less of a danger to the other competitors, because Gadowski and Buescher are approaching quickly this Ford Mustang, the number 10, now in 10th place. As the rain has stopped, so for the next 15 to 20 minutes, no rain will fall on the German racetrack. This is what is currently ahead of Vassner, perfectly visible. Even by using the bonnet camera, this is not really easy for Vassner. And the question is, will he stay out of troubles, or will he be the trouble? As Gadowski is approaching. Probably knows about a very slow car ahead. Because you don't really gain back 8 seconds in 4 corners. Oh no, now they are approaching the quickest part of the circuit. As they are in the Castle Cairn. And then cross the Tal. Ooh, bit on the grass. But the Aston passes through easily. And Ian Buescher also does the same, with a bit more difficulty. Apparently Vassner is not really giving up. Although the car can't turn anymore, nor go quick in a straight line, nor go in a straight line, honestly. I don't think the car can go in a straight line. As Lagenberg is going to take the Mustang on the possibly worst possible place into Hoyacht. Just here. At the very least, Vassner is getting out of the way. As the front, you can see 1.3 seconds behind Caracas, who is with worn tires, and again, possibly benefiting from this strategy because worn wet tires are better in dry conditions because you have less heat creating on the tires, less heat because there are less spaces in the thread of the tire, because it gets worn on the outside, so you get a semi-slick practically as a tire. Mika Patush for Metal Motorsport Racing was in the pits a tiny bit more than the usual, but still less than Longeberg, who was stationary for 7 more seconds compared to Patush. Now, the Ferrari driver is just behind Longeberg for Kali's racing team. Now into the second carousel. The Dotige show as they are approaching blue flagged BMW M4. And it gives way of pass, but also goes into the barriers. Quite a difficult night for Hog. Now in 27th place overall. Over the Dotige, you can see the dryer line appearing. It's still a wet track because it's a very cold surface, but the dry line is starting to appear. I don't think anybody really went for the dry tires. I don't really think somebody was crazy enough to go for the dry tires on a cold, wet surface. I would have expected it if it was midday with like 25 degrees. There could have been an opportunity to gamble in that case. But it's way too cold right now. As last time around, 44.6 for O'Sullivan, 30.1 for Caracas, 37.3. Okay, obviously it's out of the pits, I know. But just to understand who gained the most out of it. 37.3 for Minar, 36.6 for Naldi, Rachel 35.8. Obviously, Caracas' lap time comes as an highlight, but that's because he didn't change tires, remember? So that's why he lapped 4 seconds quicker than O'Sullivan, who changed tires. As in now over Weissener curve in the GP section, and as you can see, Weissener is into the pits. Whichever result comes out of it, it's not going to be a DNF, at least as Sav is also struggling in this race. But he will be in the very, very last positions. But as it stands, Sullivan still keeps an 8 seconds gap on Caracas. Del Fante follows another second behind. I'm trying to see the standings. The moment the drop round for Del Fante is 12:40, which is there are actually multiple 12:40s. Which are 6th place. So this result of going for 3rd would put the 12:40 out of count. 12:40 which arrived at the 3rd week and the 4th week and the 7th week. Whilst for Caracas the worst result is a 0 and then an 11.92. And for Sullivan same, 0 and then an 11.68 last time around in Suzuka. Which is I think 7th place or 8th place, I can't remember. I think it was 8th place. So this will be a huge shuffle in the standings for all of them. Because in any case, getting top 3 is going to erase one of the worst results from the earliest races. Gaskell is about to make the overtake on Ian Rushell. On the outside he goes, and he makes the position on Rushell. That's for 6th place. And this was the overtake from Gaskell's point of view. Just outside the bridge, the slowest part of the circuit. I think this was into, you can see on the outside he went, and that was on, I think it was into Extal. It's actually not the old bridge. And Gaskell's next objective is Naldi. I'll be honest, I didn't expect a top 5 from Gaskell, considering where he started from, as Naldi went extremely wide on the carousel, and this could be another position done for Gaskell in effectively just a bunch of turns, and so he goes into 5th place, only 3 seconds, actually 4 seconds behind Minar. It's number 20. With Alexander Kruk having struggles here on the second carousel. Naldi is actually worse than I expected. He started in 3rd place, he's now in 6th and about to lose position because Rushell behind is very close now. And Rushell started in 5th place, so even for him a lot of oppositions, but he is still in contention of a very good placement. Whereas Naldi is about to lose 6th place too, unless he really ramps up the pace. Sideways there, the double right corner. But for Naldi, now 1 second behind Gaskell, so he will not have the slipstream in the Dottinger. Rushell could have the slipstream though, and it will be extremely important to have it, but I think it's just outside. Meanwhile, we are getting into the end of the lap, and so this will be the last lap for everybody. As Lundberg is still defending against Patush for 12th place into Fans Garden. You can see the Mustang in front really loose. It was really sideways in a place where you have to go straight. But Patush, as Sullivan crosses the line to take a white flag, Patush is very much in contention of this position. He has been very close from the very start of the lap. So he has been following the Mustang ahead for this whole time. Oh, a bit on the curb, that was extremely dangerous. Sliding a bit. Also, you could see Patush already going on the wet patch. And that's because he is possibly already overheating the tires. Which, fair. The dry line is starting to appear more and more, clearly visible here. But it's still wet, because it's way too cold. Zgadowski. Oh wait, Rambach is into the pits. Rambach is into the pits. What's that for? Is it a penalty? No, it isn't. It's actually a pit. So he's out of fuel. Oh no, he's out of fuel, Arnie Kronbach. And he will have to stay stationary for another 25 seconds. So, terrible mistake for Rambach. He was in 9th place. He will come out, I think, in 20th. A terrible mistake here. Meanwhile, Eric Del Fante just behind the Gant Caracas. In the last lap, he gained 3 tenths. So, possibly this was a mistake on... Oh, there's another car into the pits. That's Patrick Bachmeier. From 16th place. As Del Fante is really tailgating Caracas in front. You can see from the splitter cam. It's the last lap. So he could be happy with a 3rd place. But he is not happy. He probably wants 2nd place. Because remember, they are all in a very narrow corridor with not even, I think, only 100 points separating Del Fante with O'Sullivan. Only 150 points, apologies. As Rambach is now in 16th place and Bachmeier in 22nd after messing with the fuel and getting a wrong reading. Behind Sam Gaskell, also very close to Philippe Minard. Gaskell is flying as his teammate gives him the spot. So we have the top 4 in the championship in top 4 in the race. But unfortunately for Gaskell, he is 4th. And he will remain 4th. Because he is not really gaining points on... actually on nobody of his opponents. Possibly he's hoping for a 0 in the next round at Spa at this point to get the podium. Zgadowski is slow. Possibly a mistake, but nothing too broady. Oh, that was the Mustang into the grass. That's a good mistake for Longberg because Patush is now in front of the Ford, and Mika Patush gets the position done on Tobias Lundberg. So it was a good mistake for Patush and a terrible mistake for Lundberg, obviously. But Patush thanks a lot and says bye, and he is now 6 seconds behind Jan Buscher for 10th place. So top 10 still available for Mika Patush and for the Mertel Motorsport, which is now 16 positions ahead from where it started. While his teammate is into the pits because of an incident at the very early stages of the race. So only about 4 minutes to go, because O'Sullivan still has to complete the lap, obviously. As they are now at half length of the race lap. That was very close to the wall for Caracas. He's really pushing the boundaries on what he's physically able to do, using every single centimeter of the racetrack, including the off-track. I paid for the whole Nordschleife. I'm going to use the whole Nordschleife, apparently. This is the sentiment inside the number 3. And very likely is also using the track limits as much as possible. I don't think it's physically possible to get a track limit here, but Maybe if you do so. Also, it was a stop and go penalty. It wasn't a fuel-related issue. It was a stop and go penalty for both the 9 and the 28. So they weren't in for fuel. They were in for a stop and go 30 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It was my mistake. Apologies. Too fast entering. Stop and go 30, and they lost an entire minute because of that. You know, here, Lawrence Van Rossem and Dennis Feldman with Thomas Reader just behind. Reader that is now in 15th after the damage from early on. He had to remain stationary for 30 seconds, and he is now in 15th. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan is... Oh, there is the cut-off! Into the grass, that's again Thomas Reader. Really playing with fire. Because it was very close to another incident as he makes the overtake on Van Rossem. With Rossem's either mistake or maybe kindness on the carousel. As O'Sullivan is currently approaching the Dotigeho for the last time. The rain starts again. And behind him, Grantas Caracas is still in second, and I don't think the Fante will be able to clinch second place. So this will be possibly our 1-2-3 getting into Spa. This is going to be an extremely interesting final round, the one in Spa next week. But for today, Shea O'Sullivan for the Visceral Esports team wins the Nürburgring Nordschleife round in the week number 11 in the KSking.de Pro Series. With an 8 seconds gap on Grantas Caracas, his teammate in second place. And Eric Delfante following in third. Meanwhile, the British driver will arrive in fourth, and quite possibly this ends his chances at getting a podium in the series. Philip Minar, 5th place, Matteo Naldi in 6th, Ian Russell in 7th, Josh Boothby only 8th. Quite an anonymous round for Josh Boothby compared to the usual. Pavel Gadowski still on duty, 43 seconds behind. Even Gadowski's bit out of pace as Neil Kassav again struggling. In 26th place. So here, Gadowski ought to complete the race in 9th, but also there is still a position that has to be decided with Thomas Reader just behind Feldman, going on the outside. And this is another position made for Reader, now in 13th place at least. As Gadowski completes the race in 9th place, Jan Buscher arrives at the line in 10th, with Mika Patush just behind in 11th. Tobias Lungeberg in 12th. Thomas Reader just in 13th place, with Dennis Feldman and Lawrence Van Rossem following in 14th and 15th place. As Berlik also managed to gain a position on Zaza, in the very same spot as Rambach will complete the race in 16th only, unfortunately. Wilke van der Meer will arrive in 17th place. With Kevin Bellick that just gained the place number 18 at the very last time that was available on the Dotigeho. Carlos Zaza in 19th, with Marcel No in 20th place, with Miguel Silverio in 21st, following 10 seconds behind is Patrick Beckmeyer. Even for him, stopping a 30 seconds penalty that relegated him to 22nd place only. And then we've got Christian Bucher. He's just approaching the Duty-Gehu. Okay. With Sasha Wasner, that will complete the race at the end. He chose to complete the race to arrive in 24th place. With Alexander Koruk in 25th place, but still at the very start of the lap. And Irka Sav in 26th place, with Tobias Hogg in 27th place. So as soon as Wasner will cross the line, we'll go on to at least have our post-race interview. In the meantime, let Alexander Koruk completes the whole lap. This is the very beginning of it. So that was Wasner, unfortunately only 24th. Still good that he completed the race. So O'Sullivan is your winner for tonight. Grandes Caracas follows in second, and Eric Elefante in third place. I heard my voice going out for a moment. And in terms of penalty, there weren't other penalties. So these were all of them. So let me see, so all of them are into the interview room. Let me just take, just give me a second. Let's start with Eric Elefante in third. Just want to take a good angle of the car. Okay, so this should work. Let's take away the HUD and let's take our Italian into the commentary room. See a couple of questions. So let's see if everything works. Welcome in the commentary room. And well, oh wait. So welcome Eric to the commentary room. I think you're pretty used to being here at this point. And congratulations for the podium. But I think you are not completely happy with it, because now the championship is in a bit of a difficult position, let's say, because now you are, I think you're still leading, but narrowly. I think maybe by 12 points, something like that. So how was the race with this in mind? Like you had to make the race at the best possible way in the rain at nighttime. How was all the thinking about the championship, all the thoughts about what could go wrong and what could go right?
One-tenth in this track. And then, yeah, in the race, Shea was a bit faster than me. I was losing a lot on the straight because I had to use max swing, and with the Honda is very slow. But was the right thing to do because otherwise it was too sketchy. And then yeah, it was running away a bit. Then we pit. I decided to change tires, and in the end, it wasn't the right choice. And also, I lost 2-3 seconds to restart the car. I had a little problem with my wheel, and I lose the position to Grantas because of that. But yeah, in the end, I think I didn't have to change tires. He did the right thing because it was fast also in the end.
Yeah, considering you have the Honda, my next question was whether you went for a complete high downforce setup or maybe a bit of gamble going for a lower downforce setup to get a bit more speed maybe in the straight.
No, I went for full wing,
Okay,
full
okay.
downforce.
Okay.
Because like I said, it was too sketchy with a little bit less wing, and also I didn't try with that much water, so I didn't try in quali and in the race directly with less wing. I think it was not the right thing to try at that moment.
Last question. Did you hope for maybe a completely dry second part of the race, or at that point you were okay with the fact that it was wet and it was just
I think with more wet it was better for me.
okay.
If in the end it was always every lap a bit slower, I think. And at the start I was faster. I think.
Okay. So now there is one last week, and it's a double header, and so double the pressure. Let's say. Obviously, I hope you will have a good final round. This has been a beautiful championship so far, and it's still all in contention. So good luck for Spa, and I hope for the best.
Thank you so much, and we will see next week.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you again.
So this was Eric Telfante for the Italian Job for us, and then I have to go through the usual. So. Ta-da. I need okay, so this is a good bit. Okay, this will work. So wait, take away the HDD, otherwise it's not really good. And now next person in line, Grantas Carregas in our commentary booth. Welcome, Grantas, and congratulations for the podium, congratulations for P2, and I think that was a bit of a win, all in all, considering the championship situation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had no idea. I mean, such an expected result after such a qualifying. It was very poor qualifying for me. Couldn't get the first lap in, and the second lap was just not enough grip on the track. Was too wet to improve enough to climb up more positions. So I had to start from P7. I know I had some pace to finish top 5 at least. So I know I tried to take it safe first few laps and see how it goes, and it went really well. My pace was really good. Surprisingly, did not expect to have such pace, such like pace to fight for top 3. And then I decided to not change tires because it's very cold and tires barely wear out on such cold temps. So I thought like, okay, let's do a gamble and not change tires. When basically everyone from the grid I think changed tires, which I was really surprised. So that helped me to climb up to P2 and defend for the rest of the second stint against Delfante. So yeah, it was definitely not unexpected P2, but I absolutely take it, and I think that this was probably the best race I've done this year.
Yeah, it was very cool to see you climb the ladder effectively from 7th, as you said, to 2nd. A very difficult qualifying. Everyone had a very difficult qualifying, to be fair. What was the real difficulty, apart from obviously the fact that it was wet, cold, and and nighttime? But half the grid nearly, actually half the grid didn't, nearly half the grid didn't commit for not even a single lap, a single valley lap. So what was there was there another difficulty on the racetrack, or was it just a combination of bad and of bad conditions?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was combination of Nordschleife, GT3 cars, and the flooded track in the night, and obviously only 2 qualifying laps can be done, because short quali. So, you cannot make mistakes, and if you do, you're gonna start from the back. You have to be really careful, and in such conditions like this, in such a professional league like this, you cannot be too careful because otherwise you will lose too much lap time, and you have to push, if you want to start as high as possible. So, pushing in those conditions, it's very tough. I mean, flooded track and Nordschleife in the night, I think, is the toughest combo in the whole game. So I think it was tricky for everyone, even for for the highest league drivers, for the professionals. So I mean, yeah, just all of that combination, and obviously knowing that if you make an error, you will start from the back. So also a lot of pressure at the same time. So yeah, I think, as I said, combination of everything, and yeah.
And last question, obviously, now the championship is even more tight than early on. Are you looking forward for the fact that the next round is actually 2 races instead of 1?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
expected the opposite actually, because now it's you have double the chances to gain, but also to lose. So I
Yeah,
thought I actually thought that you weren't really happy about the fact that it's a double round.
well, I mean, it's always fun, especially the last round. Even though I'm in a good position in the championship, it still points to gain even for me, or to lose, of course, but to gain, and especially in the second race, it spices the things up. So I'm still looking really forward to it, and it will be very exciting and hopefully really good, fun 2 races.
Okay, so obviously good luck for the next race in Spa, or at the next races in Spa, since it's 2 of them. And yeah, the championship now is more packed than early on, and I'm really looking forward for the finale.
Yeah, I am so too. Thank you so much. See ya. Bye bye.
See ya. And now only the winner of the race remains. And also, let me take you through the standings because they have updated themselves. And I have to excuse myself because I didn't see that Sam Gaskel had a 500 points only being counted. And I honestly didn't see it. And so he is actually about there in the championship because he could still win this. And not only that, but he's currently leading, but with the 3 rounds not being counted, it's a bit tricky to follow the standings as they happen. But let me take Phil Sullivan. Winner of today's race. So welcome Shay.
Hello.
And yeah, nice race, nice win. You effectively dominated the entire track for the whole 60 minutes.
Oh yeah, thank you. It was definitely the furthest thing from easy. With I hadn't done any practice in rain that heavy, so I sort of had to scramble together a setup and stuff like that. I was happy with the lap I got in qualifying, but I binned it on my next lap, which I was up on, but luckily it didn't really matter. And yeah, key thing was just try and hold on to the lead out of at the end of lap 1 because I knew it would be in these conditions quite hard to overtake. So yeah, that was the crucial thing. Just hold on to the lead and then not mess up the pit stop.
So you're telling me that you effectively dominated the race with a scramble setup.
It was a wet setup I'd
Come on.
made. I'd made a slight wet setup for like really light rain, but it wouldn't have really worked in heavier. So
Ah, yeah, because it was for the track, yeah.
luckily the changes I made worked.
Obviously now the championship is slightly more in your favor. You're currently in third, and your lowest round is on 12:46. So you kind of have to get the podium positions in the next 2 rounds, effectively 2 races, because next round is a double race. Are you looking forward for the fact that it is a double race, or you would have you will prefer to have a single race that could have counted?
The double race doesn't really like, I seem to have done pretty well in them so far this season, so I don't really mind it too much. It does make things a lot harder with race 2, but yeah, I mean, I just take it as it comes and do my best at every race.
And final question. Effectively, your car was strong. I honestly, just for curiosity, this one here, did you go for a high downforce setup or a low downforce setup for the race? Considering it's uploaded, I know, but I know the Mustang is good in a straight line. Did you try to make it even better, or were you more cautious on that regard?
In the wet, you just really want to put the wing. Very rarely do you go light a low wing in the wet, but on this track, regardless, the gearings are quite odd, and even if you go low wing, you don't really get much of a benefit because of the way the gears are. So usually this track tends to be max wing for this car, wet or dry, really.
Okay. Yeah, because usually there is the choice of going for a lower downforce or high downforce, but the Ford is, I think, another beast at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shay. Congratulations for the win.
Thank you.
And I will see you in Spa, because 4 drivers in a chunk of points after 12 weeks is very good, considering that last season the championship ended one week earlier, and now we have to wait until the very last minute. So it's going to be quite different from last season, and I hope for the best even for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
So that was Shay O'Sullivan for Vissel Esport, and as I mentioned earlier, the standings are putting Shay in third, with Eric Desfante in fourth, Grant Scarcas in second, and Sam Gaskell in first. But going for an effective preview what's coming in the last round is going to be quite tricky, because of the drop round situation. Remember, 3 rounds are being counted in a drop round. All 3 of the top 3 have a first 0 in the round. The rounds being counted, while Eric Desfante is the only one that has every single round with a points finish. So this could be beneficial for the Desfante, or it could be detrimental for him. But we are going to see it in the last round. Remember, double race, 40 minutes and then 20 minutes. But this was it for tonight. I'm Chris Romano. This was the KTM Pro Series week number 11 at the Nordschleife, and I'll see you all next time. Well, personally, this Sunday for the endurance, but next week is the finale of the season, so be sure to check it, as every Thursday at 8 o'clock CEST. Stay safe, have a good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, and see you next time. Bye!